What's up, everybody? I'm Jasonlee Tucker, and welcome to our newest show, The Coffee Break with Jasonlee and Mike. Fixing to bring Mike Stone up here in a minute. This is our new show. We're going to be trying to do it every Wednesday night. It might vary to Tuesday or Thursday, but we're going to be trying to do it every Wednesday night around 11:15. We might be doing we might see how like a morning show, morning times works, but this is like I said, this is our first episode of first show, so. Welcome on a Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. Let me bring Mike in here right now and introduce himself. Mike, what's going on?
Yo, what's up, Jason? What's going on?
Good. Just got off of work, got home and relaxed. It's our first episode, like I was telling everybody. So it's going to be a casual show. We're going to be talking about some coffee. We'll probably talk about a little news that's going on in the world.
Oh, yeah.
We might talk a little entertainment, a little different things.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything. It's a nice casual show.
Yeah, I got to have everything. I got my coffee sign on.
Well, Mike, let introduce yourself to the audience right now.
Yeah, my name is Mike Stone, and I'm the owner and operator of Coastal Cafe. So Coastal Cafe is a new artisan gourmet roasting company in Central Florida. So yeah, it's been pretty exciting to do what I've been passionate about. You know, I've been roasting coffee and obsessed about it for over a decade, longer than that. I've been drinking coffee since I was 13. So, but yeah, I just, I grew up sort of in the like corporate retail world and did that jazz for quite a long time. So I still, this is my, on the 27th of next month will be a full year of being 100% self-employed, completely independent. So it's super hard, to step out of an employee mindset and just be independent. So, cause I like wake up and I'm like waiting for somebody to tell me what to do. And I'm just like, oh crap, it's just me, Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I do. I do that and it's pretty fun. A lot of busy work.
And coffee is an essential part of everybody's life in all parts of life. I mean,
yeah.
From just the news, you're watching the news. What is people drinking a cup of coffee, watching this, reading the newspaper, reading an article, go to a cafe, a bookstore, cup of coffee. I mean, it's an essential part of our lives. And it's it's a fun thing to talk about, and it's amazing. I mean, like I got the back screen here, some of your brews showing how you brews and your channel. This is his website, coastalcoffee.com, and he's also on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Y'all check out his TikTok, guys.
I know. Like through the channel, there's probably maybe some people hopping in on this, and I'm like, wait, he's not. Wait, this is really him? I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty boring and lame. Yeah, but there's fun backstory to that. But yeah, coffee it permeates it's on every corner, every street. So it's next to water. It's the second traded commodity. So it's the most saturated business.
And like in history, wars has been fought over coffee.
Yeah,
I
was just reading an article. They tried to ban coffee 5 times in history. It was tried to be banned by the Pope back in I believe it was the 16th, 17th century.
Yeah,
and then the Pope tried the coffee, which it had been traded towards Europe. It's like no, it's like nah, it's good, it's fine. Yeah, let it. Yeah, it's good.
And coffee is a worldwide drink. You got different brews from Africa to from South America. Asia, different. And a lot of people like different types of brews. Light, dark. You got different nut things with the grounds and stuff. So it's not just here in the United States or Europe too. I've got Europe.
It's in over 50 countries. It's insane. So like you probably remember like going to the grocery store and whatnot, like back in the 90s, the coffee section was like what, 6 feet, 4 feet.
Yeah.
Now you go to the store, it's like 40 feet long. You're like, no, this is crazy.
And I worked in retail. I worked at some of the bigger retails and some smaller ones. And even our smaller ones, we had a big coffee section. You know, it's like, you know, when you go to the bigger stores, you know, there is so many different brands of coffee. And then even the coffee shops got their brands in there. I mean, it's like crazy.
Yeah. The corporate world really took it off and in a good way, but they also ruined it, you know, because it was like, when I was growing up, I remember those Jasonlee commercials, like the only specialty coffee by the Swiss, you know, they made the proclamation. It's like, we have the heavenly juice, you know, and then, you know, they kind of got sided with the corporate world and making money. So it all became, you know, so now you see their product on the shelf, everything's in K-cups and
exactly.
Especially, you know, people in the specialty coffee world like myself, we look at it and we're like, no, you know, so
I mean, yeah, there's so many different, like you said, the K-cups, different types of, you know, ground, non-ground. There's so many different types of even coffee machines now. It's like it used to just be the old-fashioned coffee machine. Now you got all these fancy things. You have like one of them antique ones, you know.
Yeah, the technology with not just to mention roasting, but like the brewers. I mean, the roasting has gone, like the technology has gone up quite a bit, but not in the sense of brewing. The amount of brewing techniques is ridiculous. Like just the other day, I saw a new brewer I've never seen before, and I've seen everything. And this thing was made back in the 90s.
Wow!
Basically, like this long cylinder tube. And it has like this long rod that goes through, and it manually presses the coffee through, and it's in the category of manual machines. I was like, I thought I've seen them all.
I'm sure if you go to Europe and some of them older places, you'll probably find out no telling what kind of machines they used back in the day.
Yeah, the fancy one I have is from Belgium. It's a classic Belgian brewer, and it's like a siphon balance system. It's pretty cool. So that one's actually new, but I used to have one that was super, super old, and those models, those are hard to find, you know.
Exactly. In the old days when they had the old ships back in 1870s when they would travel across the Orient, in different place, and you know, and they found these different brews. That's where they found, you know, the different things. I remember, like he was talking about as a kid. You remember was it Juan Valdez, the one with the donkey and the guy coming with the donkey? What was his name? Was it Juan Valdez?
Oh yeah, Maxwell.
Oh yeah. I remember him. They always, I would be watching cartoons or something. They always had some reason. They always, you know,
Maxwell. Maxwell actually has a really rich history and phenomenal history. You know, so like, you can visit their website and read their history page. But now Maxwell's like the second leading coffee. I mean, basically the two, you know, Folgers owns like, I don't quote me on this, but it's like 20-30% of everything you see on the shelf. Like even, you know, I was informed by somebody who follows me on TikTok that Folgers actually owns most of the Latino coffees, like Cafe Bustelo, La Valle, the Key coffee, Pylon.
Oh, Pylon, that's my wife. Like,
and so like a lot of these coffees are now owned by one company, and I think Folgers is owned by, I can't remember what Folgers is owned by, but they run the industry, you know. So
I remember that as a kid, and then, you know, I was, you know, we're at my grandma's house, and you know what grandmas and grandpas, they back in the 80s, they used to watch Matlock and, you know, the Golden Girls and stuff. And guess who all those coffee commercials are always on those type of shows. You know, as a kid, you're like, oh, that guy's so cool. The guy with the donkey, because he had the donkey and you come down from the mountains and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I remember. That's what I remember. So when I was growing up, there, you know, my mom drank instant coffee, and she always bought the Maxwell Instant, and instant coffee was like the thing of the 90s. And then they started advancing the percolators, and like it was really Javalia Javalia you could only order by the phone. So that was the craziest thing. You had to call to get it. And
Wow.
I don't think they made you. I think they did. That, like if you bought their coffee, you had to buy their machine. So
Wow.
it came with it came with a percolator to brew their coffee. So yeah, and that kind of changed,
Yeah.
started to scale. Like, okay, this is what coffee should be like. This is how we do it, in our country.
Exactly. And that K cup changed a lot of things when they invented that thing. That was like, I mean, everybody went from just regular packs, and then you could find all these K cup things now, different machines.
Yeah. It really did change like the whole face of the coffee world. Really, the guys who invented the Keurig, man, that
they got some money right now.
Pretty rich now.
Pretty rich.
Yeah. When they first came out with the Keurigs, they were pretty god awful, but the science, they have upgraded the technology on the machines. You can actually get insertable filters for them, so you can still use your normal ground coffee, throw it in the filter, which is cool. And that does okay, okay extraction, like I put my coffee through it. I'm like, okay, I actually was trying some samples, I send samples out to customers and clients and stuff. And I want to revisit my samples and say, okay, what am I sending out? And I'm like, what are they even using? Because I know they're probably not using the brewing machines that I'm using. So I'm like, I'm going to just shoot this through my Keurig and see what we get. Make sure we're sending out something good. So I run it through the Keurig on a regular coarse grind, and I tried it. I was like, not bad. Not bad. I mean, if that's what you use, I gotta make a product that anyone can use.
Exactly. And the flavor and taste of coffee, depending on the machine you use, it does make a difference, though. The different types of machines, because the way the grounds are.
Yeah, people don't really realize that, like, when you extract coffee with hot water using different methods, you get something, if you use poor method, you're going to get a poor taste. That's why the majority of people who don't like coffee have had a bad cup of coffee, or most likely it's a combination of two things. It was coffee that was not fresh and it was poorly brewed. The two issues are it's under extracted, it comes out too watery, or it's over extracted, it comes out too bitter. So there's this article out where it said that the most profound beverage on the face of the planet is wine. But since there's like over 1,000 cup characteristics in red wine, it's insane. And this is the truth.
Yeah.
But there's an article, popular article circulating that, coffee, the profile of coffees, and all the flavors that it provides is like around 800s. They're about 800 cup characteristics. But with the technology of new brewing methods and also roasting methods, it's now pretty much even. So over 1,000 cup characteristics. And with some species of coffee plants, and this is something that was done since, like 700-800 when coffee was originally, discovered. Monks and monasteries were, making stews out of it, and they're throwing berries. So like, when people say, "Oh, you put fruit in your coffee," and they're like, "That's new," and I'm like, "No, it's not." I'm like, "This is like the dawn of time," So
been doing it for 1,000 years.
Yeah, so like there are some coffees that are so subtle and so mild that it's kind of like a canvas. You can naturally put flavors to. So that's where in the 90s gourmet coffee, so they really took ideas from ancient history. And they started making all these crazy flavored coffees, and so it's pretty interesting. Like you could take coffee and roast it, or add natural flavoring to it, and get literally anything. I mean, I've had some weird stuff. I had a coffee that was jalapeno pepper once.
Wow,
it was actually good. And I've had a coffee that was Jolly Rancher. And they naturally roast it, and it kind of like the taste of like mango and like Jolly Rancher. I've had some wild stuff. I mean, and some coffees that I've roasted myself literally taste like rich, sweet mango pulp. It's
Wow.
just like this rich sort of mango flavor. And I didn't do like all I did was roast it. And it's just comes down to how the bean was processed and all that. So it's just very intriguing.
So when you come up with ideas, like you want to make that coffee special for that person who's going to try it. I know I've seen some of the flavors you had. It's like wow, it's just like amazing. Some of the flavors I like. You had the whiskey and
Yeah.
the different what the one you had the peppermint one just this holiday season and
yeah, we had some holiday ones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you got some new ideas out here.
Yeah, I got a new coffee out too, called juiced jasmine. I have a bag right here.
Oh wow!
So yeah, I know you have the commercial up right behind you as well. Yeah, that one is pretty. From a lot of people who aren't into specialty coffee, they've never seen anything like this. It's kind of like trying to describe a pink elephant to a blind man. Because it's like when you read it, it says floral aromas of lavender and rose and lilac.
Oh, wow.
And people immediately think, am I eating a flower? And not exactly. Not exactly. Like lavender, as much as you think of it as being like something like is like an aroma you smell in your laundry, like laundry detergent. It's actually lavender and floral essence has been put into fine cuisine for a long time. So there's not a single chef that's so critically involved with the flavors of their plate that they make that it's just undeniable that you can't also do that with coffee as well. So like in the specialty coffee world, this was an idea that was kind of swept under the rug. There's a few people who were doing it. I know maybe one other artisan roasting company that has a lavender flavor coffee, but that's literally, imagine yourself sitting in like a field of lilies, right? Or you're like, if you ever go to like I just like going into floral shops because the smell, the aromas.
Wow.
And then somebody hands you a gourmet cup of vanilla coffee.
Wow.
That's literally what it does. Because when you brew it, you get the crazy sweet aromas of the lavender, the lilac, the rose. And then when you taste the coffee, it's just this very rich vanilla coffee. So I got the best Madagascar vanilla bean and put that into the coffee. So it's kind of like coffee and food. It's not just something you taste, it's something you smell.
Wow.
And so kind of bringing in that element of the aroma, the sense of smell, not just the sense of taste. Because like anytime you smell coffee, it's like, yeah, I smell coffee. But when you brew coffee and it's like, I'm standing in a floral shop right now. What is going on?
Yeah. And guys, there's a big holiday coming up next week, and that special someone, you make them up a cup of coffee and that first thing in the morning. It's gonna be a good Valentine's Day for
that was the whole idea. I was kind of like, I got to get this out. So the night before, like I had everything ready, but we ran into some issues. I was like up till I didn't sleep that night until I got everything up and ready to roll. So we launched it I think the 7th. Few days ago. So we've had some go out pretty quick as soon as it hit the shop. So and it's obviously people who know specialty coffee, but from a consumer standpoint, like when you see that, you're kind of like I said, it's like trying to describe a pink elephant to a blind man.
Exactly.
Like they read it like
That's
yeah,
definitely. You see the lavender back there.
Yeah.
And guys, and you can order on his website. You can order this. You don't have to be here in Florida. You can be across the country or in Europe, wherever nation, worldwide. So, guys, check it out. So,
yeah,
and that's amazing.
Other than there are some shipping bans right now. So I put a link on my website. So if you're if you're in Syria right now, I'm sorry.
Yeah. There's
COVID.
Yeah, certain countries, so they have a thing.
Yeah, I did ship out to where was it? Somewhere, it wasn't England. Where was it? Switzerland.
Wow.
Yeah, they paid a lot of money for shipping. So yeah, I wasn't prepared for it because my shipping detail, like, I didn't update it, so I basically gave them free coffee. So I was like, yeah, we might want to fix that because it's relatively expensive. I have some customers who use a 24-hour shipping, and it's like it's 2 times more expensive than the coffee itself. And I'm like, man, people are paying that.
But the thing is, you're paying for a specialty coffee. This ain't just something you go to, down to the store. This is something special,
Yeah.
And some of it's one of a kind, like you said, this is sometimes limited edition and different things. So you never know. Really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed some of your coffee you've been doing by the holidays and stuff coming up, like you had for around the fall. You had some of the pumpkin spice and you had the candy cane. I mean, we're going into spring. Like I said, you already got the lavender, got the flowers and all that. So, I mean, and that's the thing. It's cool. You can go throughout the year and have because I know everybody gets excited with the pumpkin spice, pumpkin and stuff, but by December, everybody's like, I don't want no more pumpkin. So, but they want their candy cane or they want eggnog or different things. So, and so that's what's really cool. Have the different categories, different flavors. And that whiskey bourbon one you did, that took off really good.
That one's fire. It's a permanent in the store. So, and I knew it would be, so I sold out in like 6 days when I launched it. So, there's more to come with that collection because there's one more I want to come out with, like an Italian liqueur. So that would be super fun. But I also like when I come out with a coffee that's staple, meaning it's not limited edition, it stays in the shop. So the Juice Jasmine is not a limited edition. It is a staple.
That's a staple. Okay.
And I like, just to communicate with anyone, if I believe it should be a staple, it's pretty damn good. Like, I put it up there with the best. So like there's some like a summer one that I come out with is called Manglio Passion. And that's a good one because like that one goes great with iced coffee. So you get a fruity iced coffee with it. And that one didn't sell as well as all the other ones, so therefore it's a limited edition. For certain times of the year.
Seasonal,
yeah. And like the same with as good as the peppermint one was. That one sold like crazy, but it also came out of the shop because after a while, once you have so much peppermint,
it's as a holiday. Everybody wants peppermint during Christmas, winter months, and then it's the same thing with the pumpkin. Everybody gets excited around August, September because that pumpkin's coming out. And I know my wife's the same way, but then she's like, by December, she's like, I don't want to see a pumpkin anymore. That's the way it works.
Yeah. It's kind of ironic. It's like it's all hyped up, and then after a few months you're like, and so you go, So I'm very confident in Juice Jasmine like being a staple because it's mostly a gourmet vanilla coffee. The rose and lavender was just something novelty that I wanted to have on the shelf or in the store. That's quite different than anything else. Kind of like bringing in, like I said, the sensory of smell, because like when you brew, like you walk into somebody's house, you always know if somebody's brewing coffee. But when you walk into the house and you're just kind of like, it's like, I smell coffee, but do you have flowers in here? There's like, so it's just super unique,
Hey, Sci-Fi Nation just popped in. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for joining us. Yes, I know a lot of things going on in the world right now. I know what they got with the truckers and the different thing. Is it hurting you? Is it hurting your business anywhere? Because I know shipping is hard, with shipping and all that right now.
The shipping rates, I don't think have really changed, but trade has certainly affected trade. I'm sure everyone has seen on the news all the ships sitting out, just not being received, not being shipped out.
And
So
California, California, and I mean Florida, we're doing pretty good getting them in, but I know there's a
yeah,
ton out there in the Pacific just sitting out there offshore.
yeah, because you got to think like in coffee is this pretty equivalent to these the spice trade world. So most of our spices
Mm-hmm.
are not from here.
Yeah.
So that heavily affected the price of some coffees that never were like a rare coffee. Like for example, Panama coffee, in Central America, for the most part, has been the same price as Costa Rican, and Costa Rican has gone up. But some Panama coffees right now, I kid you not, from my green grower, it cost me $75 a pound.
Wow.
Yeah, green.
Wow.
And just shy of a couple of years ago, most of them were around, as low as maybe I can get as low as maybe $4.50 a pound, if I'm buying wholesale.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're astronomically high. So that's why it's not like I had a Panama for a while that I was going to put into the shop, but I was kind of working on that brew. And then once COVID jacked prices up,
it's like a barrel of oil almost.
Yeah. when you go to the grocery store and you go to the spice sections and you look, it's just like 100 holes, because they're all still on a shipyard somewhere.
Exactly. And they jack the prices up too, and there too.
Yeah.
I mean, I know working in a grocery store, your little spice there was sometimes 99 cents to $2. And then boom, it's already up to $3, $4.50, and I'm like, holy crap! I just like a year ago I was paying $1 for this stuff.
Yeah, so we really had to.
Hey Tim, what's going on, brother?
We really had to think about what's coming in the store and why. So we just had to change some things around, and we still offer very competitive price. So one of my buddies who's a roaster. His starting price is $13.99. I don't have anything in my shop that expensive. So I kind of look at the playing field and I said, you know what, the rarity of a coffee does not mean that the coffee is somehow significantly better. It just means the really rarity in the coffee world just means it's not exactly available right now. So there's a lot of coffees that are coming out of season. Because you look at coffee the same as produce. So you go to produce during different times of the year. It's like, hey, where are these, where are these vegetables at? They're out of season. We don't, or like, I thought it was the weirdest thing. I went to Publix the other day, one day to get plums, and it's like, no, we don't have them. They're out of season. I'm like, what? Like,
and if you don't find them, they're very high because they're only in certain areas, and and
it's just the same with coffee. It's like price fluctuates on availability. So like right now there are some African coffees that I have in my shop that are phenomenal. They're phenomenal, and they're pretty low for me to get, while others I remember being lower than the Africans are just like insanely expensive. And that's an issue right now. It's because like in every specialty coffee roaster sitting here like pulling their hair out. They're like, I can't get this in my price range.
Exactly. And then people gotta realize, I mean, if they want that they want that special coffee, they're gonna have to pay. With the times we live in, they're gonna have to pay that little extra. Because like loaf of bread's gone up. Everything, gas. Look how gas is almost $4 a gallon. And that and even like that, gas goes into the coffee because of the trucking and the shipping and all that. And it, the middleman, they get there, they have to, they lose 50 cents here, they got to bump it up 50, 75 cents, and it just goes downhill from there.
And supplies have gone up too. Like I remember I could get supplies pretty dirt cheap to nothing. Now the vendors that I go through, I'm looking at like bulk size boxes and all this stuff, and I'm like, gone up, a few cents here, a few cents there, and pennies add up because when you buy in large quantities, you're like, what's going on here? Like, this is not good.
Exactly. Well, that's like you said, it's $75, and you were paying $4 to $5 for the same thing less than a year ago. That's crazy. That's
yeah. I mean, to put into perspective, I mean, a couple years ago, I could sell my coffee as low as $7.99. But now, like, because of everything going on, like I said, one of my competitors is selling his coffee at, starting price $13.99. It goes up from there.
Yeah.
And like, it's not like he's getting his coffee. Like, the coffees that we get all come from the same place. Like, so I guess through his budget or whatever, that's where he starts. But, so it's just, we're all kind of struggling with, every person who's in the retail business is really struggling with, it's like trying to keep the quality of the product, but, trying to keep the customer happy with price,
Exactly. And you notice a lot of products, and this goes into some of the stores in the main brands. They've gone up in price, but their packages have gone a lot smaller and stuff.
Yeah,
like
I noticed that.
Yeah, it's like you get the ketchup bottle. It was like this, and it went up 50 cents. And it's like, you lose 2 ounces here. I've noticed because when I was working in retail, I'd be putting up product, and I'm like, I'm like, this ain't the same can. this can's this much smaller than that. It's like, I said, but it went up in price, and I'm like, oh Lord, they're double dipping there.
Somebody screenshot me at Walmart. They make like bags of coffee, like beans or ground, because people stop buying the 8-ounce bag, or I think the standard size bag is like around 12 ounces, somewhere around there. That's like the standard like envelope size bag.
Yeah.
And they started making them in like 6-7 ounce bags. And I found out the reason is people stopped buying the 12 ounce because price has gone up. So if you put it in a smaller quantity, it obviously lowers the price. And people are like, oh, okay. He's like, no, you're still getting gypped,
Exactly.
And so I don't think it has to do with raw product. It has to do with packaging, like I said, shipping, gas prices. Once gas prices goes up, everything goes up.
In the commodity market, like I said, coffee's on the commodity market. It's like corn and all that, and it's with the shipping and overseas stuff going on, and events in the world. Like especially we got a lot of stuff going over in Europe and all that right now. I ain't gonna say it because of YouTube, but that affects prices massively.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's good to be in a super saturated market because, like, no matter what happens, you're not going to take somebody's coffee away. So, yeah, I saw this meme the other day show like this guy trudging through like 4 or 5 feet of snow, and the top of it said, "God damn it, I'm still going to get my coffee." So like he snowed in at his house, so it's like no matter what happens, that I have customers too that they say, Mike, you could sell your coffee double the price, I'd still buy it. And so that tells you, you have your work put ahead of you, but at the same time, it feels good to know that you're in a market that is going to survive. No matter what.
You get your clients, and you get your repeat clients, and you keep those, because they put their trust in you and in the coffee they buy from you. So that's really good. So if some people, if they like that coffee, they will pay that that little extra money, and if that's what they what they want, and that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me see. So you want to show your you showed your new coffee a little bit.
The Juice Jasmine. Yeah, the commercial playing behind you is the commercial for it. I'm not like super good with commercials, but yeah, it just kind of gives like this idea of like walking through a garden or a paradise and you're drinking coffee. So, and that's how I interpret it. That's basically me interpreting the pink elephant to the blind man. So I've had like 1 or 2 samples of it go out. So we have a sample fulfillment. So there's an application online. So if anyone wants to try coffee, 100% free, it takes like 1 to 2 weeks, more on the side of 2 weeks to kind of get those applications in and then roast coffee for everyone and then send them out. So, but yeah.
That's this website, guys. CoastalCafe.com. And there's some, like I said, and I was saying earlier, there's some big events coming up this weekend. We got, especially next Monday is Valentine's Day. And this is like, this is a perfect thing. Got that flavor. And then you got the Super Bowl too. Everybody's gonna drink some coffee during the Super Bowl. They might drink a little beer, but some people drink some coffee. Everybody gonna drink beer.
Yeah.
So just everybody hanging out. The guys might be drinking a beer, but the ladies and mom and grandma, they want to drink some coffee, when they watch the game.
Might be drinking some coffee porters or something.
Yeah, and Mike has that whiskey coffee, man. So you got
oh yeah,
regular coffee, man. So it's like
that's for any occasion. So I used to have a version of that was actually was made with real alcohol, but because of the issue of being a coffee business and not needing to get a alcohol permit, so I went back to the drawing boards and came up with the exact same flavor of the original recipe, but no alcohol. So yeah, it's I use the same technique as the guys who make the whiskey. They have like a whiskey mash, which flavors the whiskey. So we have our proprietary blend, and it's pretty phenomenal. Like one coffee, the Ranger coffee, I infuse with cedar oak. So after the roast is done, the beans get put through a process where smoke from real cedar wood is infused into the bean. So when you drink it, not only do you get the whiskey flavor, you get that rustic sort of, smoky flavor. So,
and on your site, you got Coastal Cafe perks. Tell everybody about the perks on.
Oh yeah, we have a down there on the bottom left. That video you could actually X out of. It's a promo video, and then it'll show like the homepage.
Okay.
I think the close button is below the video.
Okay, let me see.
But that orange bubble on the bottom left, it's on every page of CK Perks, and it's a rewards program. So basically, when you start an account or you start a membership, basically it records every purchase that you make. And when you sign up, it typically takes 24 to 48 hours. But when you sign up, also every new member gets 200 points in their account, and 200 points equals $1. So you get immediately $1 off your first purchase. So yeah, and it records everything. It records your purchases, what you like, and every time you make a purchase, it adds points to your account. So as weeks and months go on, and the only expiration date is at the end of the year. If you don't use any of your points, it'll take like 1/10 of those points and roll them over. But there's some people, they had 1,500 points, and they got like an entire three pack and some for free, because we want to reward our customers for enjoying good coffee. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, we have a point system that rewards you simply for shopping, so I think it's pretty cool. And you can communicate through that platform. You can meet other members on it. And it's we also have an interactive social media page called the Coffee Club or Cafe Club. And there it has just events, social media, videos, calendars, just updates on what's going on in the coffee world. It's got a blog on there. So you could also, kind of has a more descriptive detail of CK Perks on there as well.
Let's see. I make it right here. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Ooh, there we go. There's some. This is the Barbosa one you had there. Let me see. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me get now. I can go in there.
The Barbosa does sell more than the Ranger. I think a lot of it has to do with the maple, because I use all natural maple in it, and it makes it really kind of sweet and sultry with the taste of bourbon whiskey. So yeah, that one's pretty hot.
There's the Ranger right here. Let me see.
Yeah,
the Ranger. Yeah,
Ranger is just straight up wild. I put a lot of extra steps in creating that one, especially with the infusion of the smoky, the smoke infused flavor.
There we go. Let me see the maple whiskey. And you got the trio pack, the rum run Caribbean. Mm-hmm. So there you feel like rum.
Yeah, that one's amazing. So if you like rum chata, like the creamy rum chata drink, the original rum chata, I basically for trademark reasons, we couldn't use the name, obviously, but the description is rum chata with cinnamon.
Let me see.
So that one, out of all the coffees in my shop, has the most complex flavor profiles. There's like over 6 profiles specifically designed to create this coffee. And it's one of the original classics. When I came out with my first 3 editions of flavor coffee, that was one of the first ones. Yeah. And it's personally, other than like Barbosa, Caribbean is hands down one of my favorites. So I get asked that all the time. What's my personal favorite flavor coffee? That would be the Rum Run Caribbean.
You got espresso, Italian espresso.
Yeah.
Was it chocolate caramel delight? Man, look at all the different flavors. You got orange slice.
That one goes out a lot. Yeah, that's still year to date. The number one seller is still orange slice. I think a lot of it just the novelty, childhood novelty of orange creamsicle. So the memory of like ice cream truck pulling up, you get a ice cold orange sickle, and it's like, what? There's a coffee like that. I'm like, yeah, I'm not the first one who's ever come up with it, but I think our flavor is bar to none the best.
Yeah, guys, check out the website. I mean, it's right here. Like I said, he has the part of the coffee club where you can. There's all kind of perks on there, and this tells all the stuff about the coffees. And you got, like I said, you got the trio packs. You can try there's 3 of them there.
Yeah,
and different ones. And Jasmine is the new one, guys. This is the brand new one right here.
Yes.
That's the newest one on the block right there. So guys, this will be a really good coffee, especially coming up with Valentine's Day in the spring. It's get that flower, that flower jasmine smell and aroma when you're drinking it. So
yeah, it's pretty exquisite. So like, there are some coffees out there that have a natural jasmine floral smell. Like even, and a lot of people, I get this from almost every customer who buys my Italian espresso. The Italian espresso is very sweet and lilac smell and blueberry. And it's almost every time, I get that. They're like, you weren't joking. And like, it literally smells like sweet lilac, like flowers or lilies and blueberries, but we drink it as just this smooth, non-acidic, but very powerful coffee, So yeah, like coffee naturally has the floral aroma. So,
and you can get it whole bean or ground. So that's really cool, guys.
Yeah.
All right, let me see. Back to that. I'll remove that. So, guys, like I said, this is the website, coastalcafe.com. Check it out. Check it out, guys. If you're a big coffee drinker, like the love variety of multiple different flavors, check it out, guys. And it's worldwide. You don't have to be here in the United States or Florida. You can be overseas. You can be Europe. You can be Australia. It doesn't matter, guys. So check it out.
And you can message me through any platform, and it's me. I had an assistant for a while, but she helped me kind of grow with some marketing when I first started because it was just a lot to do. But I oversee everything, quality control, everything, the roasting of the product. Nobody else does it. So every inch of the label is all me. So like a creator, operator, everything, CFO, artist.
The man with a plan.
Yeah. Just took many years. Like I started this, back in college, so yeah.
Okay. Well, like we were saying earlier, I mean, we was like we were introducing Mike, and we was talking about his business and coffee. So we're also going to talk stuff, what's going on in the news. That's going to be part of our show. What's going on in news, life, entertainment, different things. I mean, it's not not just thing. What that all these different things involve coffee, because like when you were like we were saying earlier, when you're reading the newspaper, you're watching the television, or sitting there at in a little restaurant or something, usually a lot of people are drinking a cup of coffee, especially in the morning times, late in the evening, like this time of night.
Yeah.
A lot of people love to get a cup of coffee, especially as night owls. Who like to stay out, stay up late. Keep us up,
that's
keep
what
us
I've
going.
become.
Let's see. I have saved the website and sub to YouTube. Yes, Mike has a YouTube channel too. I have it in the description, guys. So check it out.
Yeah.
I mean,
I turned the YouTube channel into mostly like a coffee guru aesthetic channel. So if you like really relaxing videos, I make these really relaxing sort of videos with musics. Like I have one with Chopin where I'm doing a pour over brew. So I want to get into more, YouTubing with doing tutorials and stuff. I think there is one on there, maybe one tutorial, but yeah, our YouTube channel needs a lot of help and a lot of love. So if you want to, there's a lot of good content on there. So
subscribe, guys, and especially if you like TikTok, this man has a has a fun TikTok channel, I can say, and he has some characters on there. So maybe we'll bring some of them characters over to the show one day.
Yeah.
Guest appearance. So.
Yeah. There may be people because I know on the website I have linked to this channel, so there may have been people who hopped over and followed you, but yeah, my handle is at Coffee Snobbery, and so I had started I started a channel at the beginning of September, but I didn't really. It was private, I didn't really, So I posted some things. Just some funny videos and some tutorial stuff. And, because when you search coffee, it's over 1 billion hits, because it is the biggest consumer product in the world. So it's if you search it, literally everybody and their grandmother has something about it. So it's a really hard hill to climb creating a coffee channel. And there, to be honest, there's a couple people that I follow, and there's some guys that are working really, really hard, and they're a lot smarter than me. They have better equipment than me. They have all these other bells and whistles that I don't have, and they post great content and get no views. So
exactly.
I thought to myself, I was like, why don't I just, the thing that all specialty coffee creators have in common is that we really dislike all the crap coffee videos that we see on in our For You page. And it's literally the top viewed coffee videos on TikTok and pretty much anywhere is basically some guy or girl doing a very sloppy iced coffee, just pouring everything in, sugar, and they get millions of views. And then we do a serious video about what we're passionate about and get almost nothing. So we're where is the discrepancy here? Exactly. And so and all the specialty coffee channels, they're all holding hands. And when one of them does a good video and it goes viral, all the other, a domino effect, do the same thing. So we're all holding hands, doing the same videos. And I'm surely if your content's so good and you've been on TikTok since TikTok has started, I don't know how long TikTok has been around now, 3 years, 4 years?
3 or 4 years, yeah.
Surely within that amount of time, you should easily reach, if your content's that good, you should easily reach 1 million followers. So I'm looking at all of the top coffee creators. There's one that's very close. There's almost reached 1 million followers. Wow. And I thought to myself, that's too long. I don't have that kind of time, So I was like, and I'm sitting here looking at the majority of coffee content is all the garbage. I'm like, what are we going to do with all these stupid coffee videos? What are we going to do with them? And I'm like, let's just embrace them, because they're not willing to embrace them, because a smart person is just we're just going to ignore it and we're going to do our own thing. Good. I think everyone should do that. But if you want to climb the harder hill, just embrace it, because now you have 80% more content than they do. So I thought to myself, the worst person that you can be in the specialty coffee world is to be an elitist and to be a snob, because nobody likes a snob in any category, any artist. You're sitting there at an art place and you're trying to critique art, and then there's this weird guy comes up and no, I don't think. It's you're just trying to enjoy it. Let me enjoy my art. Let me enjoy my coffee. And everyone's got to pick on me for drinking it the way I want to drink it. So I'm like, why don't I just embrace it? Why don't I become the coffee snob? And there's no better character to be a snob than to be like an English person. I chose to be a Welsh. I chose to be Welsh, sort of British English person. And the irony is, a lot of my family, stems, from Europe. And coming up through the barista world, I had a close friend of mine who was a barista. He was from Paris. But he's traveled the world and had this weird accent and all these weird sayings. And so we would joke around when the shop wasn't busy, and we would just pretend to be like this coffee snob and turn away any customer who would, order a latte or like a fruity pebble drink. We're just like, get out of here, So I became this character, and I did a first couple of videos, got noticed, and then I did a duet with another coffee creator. And it hit like 3.5 million views.
Wow.
So, and I have a few other videos that went super viral as well. I got another one that's like sitting at 4.5 million views, a few others at 1 million views. And like people are figured it out. Like there's one person I saved their comments, like, I finally get it. It's an irony on himself. He's making fun of coffee snobbery. I get it. I get it. And so he comes on and he contradicts himself because he's judging someone's drink, but at the same time, he's amazed by it, at the end. And so he has these weird sort of quirky like mannerisms. He gets angry really quick. And so, yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, I went from like just when I first started in mid-September, only like 20 followers, and I just broke 130K. So I have 130,000 followers.
Wow.
So if you're one of my fans and you're watching this, hey, this is really me.
Well, I got a friend. If he's still on here, let me say, this guy right here, Tim Talk. He's on that also TikTok. He if you look at him, he looks just like Kylo Ren. If you meet him and he talk, I swear you think it's Kylo Ren's twin brother. And he does all kind of it. Check it if you get a chance. Check him out. He is hilarious.
I think I've seen him come across my For You. I have.
Tim Talk. Yeah,
he's funny,
Tim Possible. He might have his Tim Talk or Tim Possible. He has 2 channels. Yeah. This guy is hilarious. He does all kind of Star Wars stuff and different pop culture, but he mainly on like the Kylo Ren stuff and the Star Wars. Hilarious, man. I mean, he's got a lot of. He goes viral on a lot of his videos too. He is big on some of his videos.
And that's kind of how I learned it. I learned it from like other content creators. They're all very good actors. One of the guys I follow he probably may have seen some of his videos, called The Southern Dad. So he's actually from Louisiana, but he puts like a big pillow under his shirt and wears like these collar shirts, talks like, Louisiana redneck or South Florida redneck. And he is hilarious, has millions of followers.
Oh yeah. I think my wife's
and so like 95% of the top content creators are either, really good comedians, actors, ventriloquists, they're all actors. But the irony of like me doing what I do is that, Americans love it. They think it's funny. But the moment the people who hate me, people who really hate me, are people from the motherland. They hate, like some of them get the joke, but it's like, hey, listen, it's like when these content creators, if you don't want me to do this, then you're gonna have to contact 90% of all the other content creators.
Exactly.
When they go live, they're just like me, they're just like, and they go in and out of character and they joke around. Mm-hmm. It's like, we're all doing this for the same reason, to get your attention. This is a competition of attention. It's all it is, just entertainment,
Sci-fi says, as long as you ain't what we're talking about, stuck up. Starbucks, we can say it here. Milton says, what's your favorite type of coffee?
My favorite type of coffee? My favorite type of coffee, man, that's hard to pick. I would have to say like what I would drink the most would probably be a high quality espresso. So, because I don't always make shots of espresso. I normally sometimes brew it into like Americano, so I dilute it a lot. And so just because the compound flavors in a darker roast are just my preference, so probably hands down. But second to that would probably be like an Ethiopian, so I have a really good Ethiopian in the store that I attribute to, the name of it is Khalid. There's sort of like, difference in opinion about the name of the goat herder who allegedly discovered coffee. Khaldi is one interpretation. Other one is Khalid, but he's like goat herder somewhere around 800, where he noticed his goats were being sort of trippy, where most of the time they're mellow, at night, but they're staying up all night and they're tripping. He realized that these goats were eating these berries from this small bush tree. Come to find out, he collected them, took the risk of not, eating them and getting poisoned, because most plants are poisonous in that region, in the plateau of Ethiopia. And so traded them to a monastery, to some monks who basically brewed it, steeped it, tried all different things, ground it up, and word got out, and so that's the legendary story. So I have a coffee, and I may change the region of that coffee every once in a while. I'll update the description, but I do have a pretty bomb Ethiopian that I drink pretty obsessively. So.
Cool. I know there's different Arabic coffees too. I mean, there's so many. I mean, I know some people they say I only want Colombian coffee. I only want Panamanian, Costa Rica. Everybody has their own little flavor. Type or dark roast, mild roast. Light roast. My wife she likes medium to mild roast. She don't like too dark, but too. That's the type she likes. She loves espresso. Now espresso, she loves espresso. She's Spanish Cuban, so they love espresso. So hardcore stuff. I recently did a TikTok on that, and I got a lot of heat for doing it wrong. But I was just trying to demonstrate, because I got probably a dozen comments. Hey, do the mocha pot, do the mocha pot, do the mocha pot. So I was like, okay, I can hit two birds with one stone. And talk about, Cuban coffee and just using it. Yeah.
Because I know, because I live in Florida. So in Latin culture, I know there's three drinks, the coladas, one of the most popular ones, which I'm very well known of making. But there's also the cafe con leche. There's a few others that take different steps. I was like, I can't do all three and condense it unless I do like a separate video of each. But I don't really do that because I have so many questions to answer. So I was like, I'm just going to do it like more the Italian way. Like most, like 90% of the Latinos in the comment section were like, beautiful job, wonderful. The real Cubans were like, they're like, what the hell is this? And so I did a follow-up video. I was like, no, that was just to demonstrate the espresso and a little bit of cream. And I was like, okay, we got to represent Miami. So I did another follow-up one. It was like 7-8 seconds long. It just all the steps all combined, but yeah, that's the real deal. Like, if you're Latino, then, more times than not, you're going to be an espresso drinker,
Exactly. And they like it.
And it's my favorite. People ask me, it's like, what's your favorite? It's like, I have to land on espresso, and there's a lot of reasons why. Once you've had good espresso, you're kind of like, I thought espresso was terrible. I'm like, it's terrible if you make it wrong. And if it's stale and you get coffee that's, out of date or something like that. Yeah. And you steep it really hot or whatever, and it comes out super like acidic. But if you make it right, I'm telling you.
You go down to Miami, man. You espresso everywhere, just the smell of it.
Yeah. I have a lot of Italian people mad too, because, the mocha pot originated, the Batali was the original design. The mocha pot was original design in Italy. And so a lot of those methods were traded throughout Europe, and then finally in Cuba and Latino culture. So they did it their own way. And one guy got really upset. He was like, it's like the mocha pot does not belong to Cuba. It's like, it belongs to us. Yeah. And I was like, I made a comment. I was just like, the origin of something doesn't devalue or doesn't devalue the use of something. And I was like, I have to be frank. Latinos do it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do it.
Every Italian was like,
Yeah. And they do it, and every Latino in the cultures down there do a little different, like the
yeah,
Cuba, the Puerto Rico, coast, even the Panama, different
yeah,
Latin America. Every one of them have a little bit different, little bit flavor, little different
yeah,
way they do it. So
yeah. Like, I've, one of my closest friends he basically taught me the trade of baristaship. He's classically trained, knows everything about coffee there is. More, 9 times out of 10, when I'd come to his place, he would never make a classic drink. He'd make the strongest shot of espresso and douse it with some sugar. And he's just like, I know this is not how they really, really do that, but this is how I drink it. Because like over time, like when you keep drinking these cafe con leches and the colada, which is super sugary, it's like half sugar, you're kind of like, all right, that's too much sugar. So you just want a good, smooth, shot of espresso, maybe with some sugar, but so most of them know the traditional way, but a lot of them, they just want that shot, because like the Latino community, they're the workforce class, blue collar class in Southern Florida. So they literally run Miami. They're saying like, Miami does not sleep,
No, it's 24.
So some of my favorite cafes down there and some of my favorite bistros down there, you get like a Cuban sandwich or whatever. And right next to it is just a little tiny window. No signs. There's just a guy back there making little shots of coffee in little white cups. And you're just like, all right, you got a 30-minute lunch break. So you're just like living La Vida Loca. And you're like, take it and go back to work.
There's down there is 24/7. I know when I have to go down there. So the in-laws, we were down there in Miami.
Yeah.
And it's like here, like where we live, right now, everything is closed.
Yeah.
I think maybe maybe McDonald's. I don't even know if they're open at 24 anymore. I like here. You go drive in town now. There is nowhere to go. I think a couple gas stations. That's it. You go down there. They're the Cuban restaurants, the coffee shops, just 24/7. I mean, it's picked up now. Everything's getting back to normal, getting a little bit back to normal. But it's like up there, they're open, man. You want to go? So like what we used to have you remember we used to have the Red Rooster here in town where it was a 24. And down there they have multiple places like that. Get your your Cuban food, the coffee, the pastries, different things. It's like it's crazy. But
yeah, it's wild down there always.
So I like Mexican food in America that isn't real Mexican food. They like Taco Bell. But we got we got a couple places in town that are authentic Mexican. It's really good here in where we live.
We do have some of the best here in Okeechobee.
You can try these. Says come to Michigan. We're open statewide. Cool. Some reduced hours, but not like last year. Yeah, it's getting back to normal. I was reading that now. I think a lot of the like New Jersey, a couple, they ain't gonna have any mass mandates or anything anymore. So everything's getting back to normal. I mean, Florida's pretty much back to normal. I guess Orlando is with Disney. Disney ain't got back to normal because they went up in prices like crazy. Ain't no way I'm gonna go back there for no time soon. I was looking at that the other day. I was like, good Lord. Last time I said I have to break my retirement fund, to go in that place now. But
I was looking at tickets the other day and I was like, woo. Yeah.
That's like
crazy.
150, like almost $150 depending on the day. I mean, it could be 130. They got it now, like which is like crazy. I was like, no. I was like, especially I got 4 kids and 6 of us. It's just too crazy. But yeah. So okay, we'll get off the top here real quick because we're gonna talk. Okay, we got the Super Bowl coming up. I don't know if you're a big NFL fan, Mike. Who you got? Who you rooting for? Who you think's gonna win? Who you hope to win?
I don't like. I really like. I hate to say this, but like, I really don't keep up with football very much.
You don't keep up with football? Okay.
Pretty much all the way up until once we get to the Super Bowl, that's when I watch.
Okay.
I'm like one of those guys, more or less a
Well,
basketball fan.
a lot of people they watch Super Bowl for the commercials too. All the
Yeah,
all the
that's
commercials,
mostly it's to see those
commercials and the movie trailers stuff coming out
Yeah.
and all that. Well, my team's not in it, so I'm a Buccaneers fan. But,
Okay.
but they lost to the Rams, so I'm pulling for the Bengals. Cincinnati. So any Cincinnati fans out there, I'm pulling for y'all. Yeah, they've never won it before, and so I'm pulling for them. I'm not
the only game I've ever been to is Cincinnati, so I guess that's what I'm going for.
So go Bengals, go Bengals.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm going for. And I got a free ticket, so yeah. I know it's completely biased. Sorry, but I'm one of those guys. Like I love football. Like I played football in high school, but I like some weird reason.
You're more into NBA and stuff. You're more into NBA.
Yeah.
And all.
Well, I don't really watch NBA much anymore either. I think NBA has tanked. It's become so political and to be crybabies.
Yeah, and that 1 year I haven't really kept up. Kept up with it too much. I know LeBron, he has cries all the time, but they're playing terrible anyway right now. So he's got what he deserves. So
yeah,
I mean, I followed when Miami or Orlando were doing good, or back in the day when Jordan was playing all that. I mean, I haven't really kept up to it as much anymore. But it's like last couple of years. I mean, we've had a lot of our Florida teams like in different sports. The Rays just did good. The Lightning, a little bit of the hockey. So I've been keeping up with when they make it up to the playoffs or the finals and stuff. So, but yeah, it's been like sport. I haven't really kept up with too much sports, lately. But it's cool. Okay, so we're both from Cincinnati, guys. So if anybody Cincinnati out there,
we're saying it now. It's Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, come on, Cincinnati. Come on, Cincinnati. Let me know when the Lions get to that might be a long time, sci-fi. I'm sorry. Lions, I don't think the Lions have never been to a Super Bowl. So they're
no, they haven't. I don't think so.
Yeah. Hey, the only thing about the Lions, like I said, I was a Buck fan. And when back in the day in the 80s and 90s when Barry said, I always hated when they come to Tampa because he always had to hate it. He always would run like 400 yards against Tampa. Man, he was a hell of a player, but I was like, God, man, I hated when that guy came to Tampa. But
yeah, I do watch college football. So my brother-in-law he big Gators fan.
Okay.
So like, I mean, I keep up,
with the Gators.
I keep up, because I live in Florida. So like, I keep up with Miami Heat too, as for basketball. So I keep up with state level,
Barry Sanders he always. I hated that man. I loved it. I liked it. He was an awesome player, but I couldn't stand when he come to Tampa, man. Because I knew he was going to put it on us. Hell of an athlete. College. Okay, about the Gators. What do you think about? Was it Texas and Oklahoma coming to the SEC? You think that's going to be a hard? I know that's a with Alabama. Yeah, that's going to be one hell of a conference there.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I remember seeing that.
I think it's in 2 years. I think they've already signed it, but I
don't think the merger has happened yet.
Yeah. It'll happen in 2 years. I think 2025 is when it'll be official. Well, that's when because I think you have to. The games are already set for like 2 years or 3 years or something. Because they already got like Florida Atlantic going to go to their division. They're leaving the Big 12 or was it Big 12, Big 10 or something like that. But they were trying to get Ohio, and with this merger, they were trying to get Ohio State in there too. And I was like, holy moly! Can you imagine having to play Ohio State, Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama, LSU, and Georgia every year? If you go undefeated, you are the champion. I can say that's crazy. But let's see what
I thought that was pretty interesting. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. Mike, we got anything else tonight we'll talk about or anything? I know we've been on for about an hour now.
I mean, we can maybe talk about the show, like the future of this show.
Yes.
Like I like first the name of the show, The Coffee Break, that actually has like a lot of like history. So it kind of goes like coffee touches on every, it's on like on every street corner. So it touches every aspect of life.
Mm-hmm.
So I met this guy while I was living in Illinois. His name's Michael Pollan. He probably doesn't remember, but he wrote a book on how caffeine changes the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just pretty interesting. He talks about like this interview with Joe Rogan about how he tried to quit drinking caffeine, because he also has a lot of articles about, you know, the war on drugs and all that kind of stuff. So he includes caffeine because it's the socially accepted drug, and it's the truth. Everyone's addicted to caffeine at some, you know. So he describes the world of in one of his books, you know, the precursor to the caffeine world. You know, what was America like before the introduction of coffee and, you know, other countries. So it's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just, it kind of pieces together. But he actually talks about where the coffee break came from. And I remember that as soon as you sent me like, hey, we should do this show, that was the first thing I thought about was him. Wow. Mm-hmm. I mean, I saw some, he had talked about it in his book, but he talks about it about 4 or 5 minutes, you know, 4 or 5 minutes on that podcast with Joe Rogan. So I don't know if you wanted to show that, we could listen to it.
Okay, we can pop it in. Let me pop it in for real quick. Let me see real quick.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Because I figure, you know, he'd be the best person to like give context to our show, you know.
Let me see here real quick. Let me see.
Like the conversation starts at 2 minutes. So if you scroll to 2 minutes and let it play.
Okay, let me see here. Let me remove this one. All right, let me see. Share screen. Okay. Okay, is it on there? Okay. So you said about 2 minutes?
Yeah, 2 minutes right on the dot.
Okay, let me go on here real quick. All right, pop it right there. All right.
Yeah.
We have a debt to these plants that we owe them. And so I spent a lot of time in that, researching that chapter, looking back in history for when caffeine enters the West. And it doesn't happen until the 1650s in Europe. So we actually have a before and after, which we don't with a lot of drugs because they just go back millennia. And before caffeine, it was a very different world and a very different consciousness. People were drunk a lot of the time, buzzed almost all of the time. People drank morning, noon, and night because it was safer than water, right? Water was really how you got diseases. Mm-hmm. If you fermented things, even low alcohol, it killed a lot of the microbes. So people, even kids, you gave your kids hard cider for breakfast. Wow. And this was true in America up until the 1800s, up until Prohibition. But anyway, caffeine comes along in the 1650s, and tea and chocolate and coffee all arrive in the same decade in England. It's kind of like great decade, right? And things start to change.
In the form of coffee?
Coffee and tea. And chocolate, which also has caffeine in it.
And so what would they had never experienced coffee before the 1600s?
That's right. They had in the Arab world. They'd had it from like 1200 or something like that. Supposedly it was discovered in 800s by a herder in like Ethiopia who noticed that his goats were getting very frisky when they ate this particular berry and would stay up all night. And so he kind of like started experimenting, or he brought it to these monks and they made a drink, and it's like, ooh.
It makes sense that it was in the Arab world, because if you think about all the science that was being done in the Arab world, all the literature back then.
So one theory is that the Arab world had coffee first and had this incredible golden age.
Yes.
And there's a historian of psychoactives named Wolfgang Schivelbusch, and he correlates.
Name.
Isn't that wonderful? German, of course. Wolfgang Schivelbusch. It's a great book. It's called Tastes of Paradise. Highly recommend it. And he said this was the perfect drug for the culture that invented mathematics and had this incredible, and it helped the culture in two ways. One was, as safe as alcohol made water, boiling it made it much safer. And coffee and tea, of course, both require boiling water. No one drank boiling water or hot beverages before. So this gave this incredible public health boost to these places. And then you have the drug that basically fosters a kind of more linear, rational, focused way of thinking. And so there's a lot of evidence linking coffee and tea consumption with the Enlightenment in France and with the Age of Reason in England. And people in the 1600s started writing about it. So like, wow, people, we have this new civil and sober drink and it was so popular because it was new that people drank less and they used more caffeine. And that, I think, makes possible things like the Industrial Revolution, because when you're doing physical labor outdoors, which was most of history, right? You could be buzzed. You didn't have to know what time it was. You worked from sun up to sundown. There were beer breaks actually on farms in England. They would give you beer because it gave you calories and made you happy. But when you start moving into like running machines and doing double entry bookkeeping, you need a clearer head. And when you start moving toward night shifts and overnight shifts, you couldn't do that without caffeine. And that's when it begins. There's a whole new, it freed us from the rhythms of the sun, which dictated everything in Western culture. You could only work till the sun went down. So it had a profound effect on capitalism, the rise of capitalism. And the clearest illustration of that I came across is the coffee break. Where did that come from? The coffee break actually has a history. We know the company that came up with it. And it was a necktie manufacturer in Denver called Wigwam Weavers.
Really?
And Wigwam Weavers made these very intricate silk neckties. And during World War II, they lost all their best loom operators to the war effort. So they hired these old guys to do it, who weren't getting drafted. And they couldn't do it very well. Then they hired these women to do it. And they could do it beautifully. And there were very intricate patterns, very complicated looms. I mean, you've seen how they do patterns on neckties. And the women could do it really well, but only for about 4 or 5 hours. So they called a meeting. And the owners said to the workers, what can we do? We have to improve your efficiency and, we need more output. And the women said, well, give us a coffee break. They didn't call it that initially. And give us some time at like 10 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon and give us some coffee and tea. So we started doing it. And overnight, their productivity and efficiency goes up. Quality control goes up. And so he institutes the coffee break. And
you can
think about it. Your employer gives you a drug and then gives you time off in which to ingest it during the workday.
Yeah.
Why would they do that? Because it contributes mightily. So the coffee break might seem like it's something your boss is giving you, but it's a way to extract more value from you.
Yeah.
And I'm sure employees that have
you can end it right
breaks
there.
and get to enjoy just a little bit of free time.
All right.
So that's true history right there about our show. So Wigwam Weavers, a tie company. That's crazy. That's the truth. It kind of gives a little bit of highlight about what we can talk. We could literally talk about everything. We talk about the workforce. So if anybody has hey, can you guys, spend a week and talk about this, or talk about this at work, or talk about this political subject or whatever. So literally, it's very intriguing to the Enlightenment, profound effect to coffee affected the Enlightenment period. That's insane.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, as like I said, it ties in our everyday life. Like I just mentioned, sports. I mean, news, politics, the workforce. There's a lot of conversation. A lot of conversations and things come from just sitting there with that person with drinking a cup of coffee. So you never know.
Oh yeah,
family, friends, and even a complete stranger. That's very, very interesting.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of. I was like, yep, we gotta embrace the coffee break.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh, and guys, is everybody's watching this? We plan on growing beyond this. I mean, this was our introduction show, so we're just trying to get everybody to get to know Mike and me. So about the situation, like his business and about different things. So, and then in the future, we're hoping maybe bring a guest, on about we'll talk some more. And then, of course, Mike's going to share when he has brand new when he has brand new flavors coming in and stuff. Hey, we're going to be right here telling the people where to get it and what's new. The new brew. So.
Oh yeah. And so like we could bring, like I said, any person on the show as well, but talk about anything too. So whatever's funny or hilarious, any movie, artwork, music, whatever.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
We can go way off on the rabbit trail, So this is coffee break, it's like this is our some of my most memorable times working in the workforce have been on my break time, hanging out with people. So that's the whole thing. It's like give us a break. Let's just have some fun.
Oh, exactly. I know all my years working at the Big W. Everybody knows who they are, W Mart. So and I worked at many of them, and you may be surprised those breaks. We had everybody. We had little meetings and stuff. Everybody had coffee machines going. And I mean, it's just it's that time you're not working, and you just get there, you get to know people more, and you get good times, sometimes good laughs, good times, and and learn stuff. Somebody brings something to the table that you didn't know is meaning, that means meaning, and it's useful to you, that you never knew about. So it's always a great thing.
Yeah,
but
that's true. Yeah, I remember.
Well, guys,
I remember one time on our break, we had an appreciation day, but we hated our boss. So we employed a plan to pie him in the face when he came up to the break room.
Oh, Lord.
So, so because they don't make us a lot of times only take 30-minute lunches. So it's this is the one time where we actually get an hour because it's appreciation day. So we appreciate you. So now you're going to have an hour. And so, it's just, it's funny. And so it's so they instituted, that's what made me laugh so much about Michael Pollan. He's they instituted it just to get more out of you,
Exactly. Exactly. They want to push you to the limit. As they would say. Well, guys, we're almost at an hour and a half. Like I said, we're going to try to do this on a weekly basis. Right now, we're shooting for every Wednesday. It's same time, but I mean, it might vary. I mean, due to my schedule or Mike's schedule, we're going to try to either Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's our game plan. But we're going to try to stick to it. If we can do it, we're going to try to do it every Wednesday, this same time. And we might try a morning stream also, just see how it goes in the near future. Just see maybe 10 to 12 stream. So that's sort of like breakfast, lunch. So we might try that in the near future, on a off day or maybe a weekend day or something. Just see how it works. See who's in there, because sometimes you get a different crowd, different people watching. Because like I said, you got certain people at night owls. Sometimes I've seen streams in the mornings. People only stream in the morning or watch watching YouTube and stuff. I mean, people, the thing about YouTube now, people streaming, used to people just watch the news or TV. Now people just, they look on their phone, watch a stream going on. I do the same thing. I get a lot of my news from streams now, I don't even know from the mainstream media. And some of them stream in the morning, some stream at night, some, and then some of them you're not there, but you can catch the replay. So I'm hoping, we get a lot of people to check the replay here. I mean, we, like I said, check out Mike's website, all his coffees and different things, and check it and subscribe to his TikTok. He's got a lot of TikTok, Instagram, all that. So check it out and subscribe. And Mike, you got anything else? Anything else you want to say?
No, that's it. I mean, I'm excited about the future shows to come. So we'll, like I said, talk about different things. But this is the first of many. Yes. So some shows, will be a lot shorter, and we'll talk about some goofy things or whatnot. So So if anyone watching, after later, whatever, leave comments, be like, hey, we want you to talk about this, so like, all right, let's go. Or we could find somebody in the field who could be like, okay, we got this guy, he's guru, it's Star Wars or something like that. We can
definitely. I talk a lot of entertainment in different shows. So this is different. We talk a little things different. We always can talk entertainment and all that. But there's so many shows everybody talks entertainment. So sometimes people want something different. Somebody wants something different, something that's a little different than just what's going on TV. There's a lot of good stuff going on TV, movies and drama or sports or different things. But sometimes people talk about what's going on in real life. What's happening in the world.
Exactly.
Exactly. And then also, if you check my archives, I had an interview with Mike back in September? It was around September, October.
Yeah, it was. I launched in end of November, so it was probably the next month. It was like a month later.
I'll have to repost that interview. Mike actually, if you watch that thing, we had a little technical difficulties. So if you see, my wife was on it. We were having some internet issues, but Mike was actually brewing coffee on it. He had his machine there, and it was a really cool interview. So check that out. I'm gonna have to repost that, so I'll put it up in the archives up there. So that was a really cool time we had there. But like I said, anything you want to plug, Mike, before we call it a night?
No, just drink more coffee. Pretty much it.
Share and share with your friend, guys. If you have friends that likes coffee or share with your friends the stream. Yeah, we'd love to have many of these people come on as possible and watch the stream, watch the replays, subscribe to the channels. I'm gonna plug my thing. I like Friday night. I do different streams. Friday night I got me and a guy named the Austinator. We do it's called the late night snack. Same time around 11 o'clock. I have to do it to work. We talk about we've been recently been talking about Boba Fett, Cobra Kai, Peacemaker, entertainment movies. So if you're into that, check us out at 11 o'clock. We've been trying to do it every Friday at like 11:15. I've been doing. I got to get with Eric. We got some wrestling streams. Well, if you like wrestling, I'm hoping to do one Sunday because we got a show. There's a show going to be in Port St. Lucie on Saturday, so I want to talk about that. And Eric and Sean, he's Sean Lee. If y'all know him, he's been a couple shows up in Daytona and stuff. So it's been delayed, and I had a show in December. I went to it. I've been wanting to talk about it. Independent wrestling. We can always talk about WWE and all that, but we usually talk about independent wrestling, local wrestlers and stuff. And sometimes we've brought some local wrestlers. With some of the wrestlers on the show, we've had a couple managers and a couple wrestlers. So, you never should be surprised. Got a couple other things trying to work on, regular streams. Working on. I got. At the end, I'll have an intro. I'm working on a local. It's sort of a video local show where I'm going to be doing videos, going out in the community, farmers, people like Mike who does coffee business, but like I got some people who does cattle, farmers, or you may run at the flea market. You never know. I'm going to try to do an interview it'll be an interview type video, and then I'm going to post them. It's kind of hard to do a live stream when you're something's going. A live stream when you're out in the field or something. But we're going to try to do some cool things. It's sort of a local show, but some people it's like living in the city, like, damn, I didn't know about raising a cow or planting vegetables or something. So it's something new. Check it out if you like it, guys. And always trying to put something new and change stuff around and having fun with it, guys. So please, like I said, share, subscribe, and like channel and tell your friends, guys. And guys, we hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, this is on Facebook. It's on Twitter and YouTube. So so share it through those platforms. It's not on Instagram, but you can share it on Instagram. I can't get it to go on Instagram, but share as many platforms as you can. Maybe in the future, I know there's other ones like Odyssey and all that, but we'll look into those in the future. But that's the main ones right now. Even Twitch. I got Twitch, but I don't game that much. I don't game any. So so my son does, but I don't. So it's kind of hard. So I really haven't got into that one yet. But Saying that, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed it.
Yes.
Y'all have a great night, and we'll see you hopefully next Wednesday.
See y'all later.
Rusty boat, I'm gonna take it tonight across this shore.